Hi everybody, I'm Addie of Old World New and Old World New Baby. This is my husband Josh, and we're going to tell you about our birth story today. Neither one of us are big fans of hospitals, so we decided to go with a birth center. I googled Dallas and birth center, and the first thing that came up was the most amazing place on earth where we had the chance to give birth to our little boy. I gave birth and he delivered. We had to go through about 2 months of birthing classes with a local lady and about a half-day long birth class at the birth center, and they really were educational. You learn almost everything you think you would need to know about giving birth to a baby if you've never done so before. But you never know what's going to happen until the moment. That's why you have to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. The day Grayson was born, it was about 6 days before my due date. It was 6 days before my due date. And I was preparing. I wanted to get my hair done because I didn't want to have to deal with it when he got here. So about noon or 1 o'clock that day, my sister had finished my hair and my contractions were starting to come on heavy. They've been coming like Braxton Hicks contractions for the past 2 weeks before that. And I'd taken off work because I couldn't do much without wanting to fall asleep. And I could barely sleep because I was in so much pain from being just big. He was ready to come. So that day, 1 o'clock, contractions started. Josh got home from work about 8.
About 8 or 9.
About 8 or 9 o'clock that night, and I was starting to actually feel the real contractions. My problem was I thought that they were going to get worse. So I stayed home because I was like, they're only going to get worse. They're only going to get worse. I've never experienced birth before, so I know this isn't the bad part. It's going to be horrible how everyone says, and it's not that way. Good.
Neither of us thought that she was to have the baby that day.
No.
When I got home, she was definitely showing signs of discomfort, which was normal for the week. Mm-hmm. She had trouble laying comfortably, standing, sitting. Anything was uncomfortable. So to us, it was just another night. Mm-hmm. I went and got food. Mm-hmm. I went and got Epsom salt.
Yeah, our midwife said to take a bath, and this generous man of mine gave me a bath because I could barely do anything.
So I bathed her. We got back in the living room where we thought we were gonna camp out as usual. The last 2 months of the pregnancy, we hung out in the living room. That was our party area.
I couldn't sleep in the bed.
She was most comfortable on the couch, so I drug the mattress in the living room, and that's where we had our powwow.
Yeah.
The night of, it was probably about 10:30, and the pain started coming. The contractions were strong. And
I didn't even notice that he had started timing them. Thank goodness. The contractions were about 5 minutes apart. I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, I won't sleep. And when I couldn't sleep, I was up rocking because the contractions had become so uncomfortable that I couldn't sit through them. Finally, we called our midwife again. And how they know to tell you when to come in, she says they listen to your voice. And if you are talking to them and you have to stop talking in order to get through a contraction, it's time to come in. So she finally said, come in about, you said 10:30-ish?
Well, the first phone call was at about 10:30. Mm-hmm. They kind of thought that we were just the normal, typical first-time parents, mm-hmm. Kind of jumping the gun, because we're still a week out at this point.
Right.
We had just had a visit not too long before.
That week, yeah.
And they checked her, and they still thought that, 2 weeks away.
I was 1 centimeter dilated for the longest. Like for the last month, I was a centimeter dilated. And probably the last 2 weeks before, they were like, you could be 2 centimeters dilated, but that's a stretch. We're still going to say 1.
So at about 11, we called again. Mm-hmm. And they told us to go ahead and come in. What's the worst that could happen? Rather be safe than sorry. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and come in. So me, myself, I go into panic mode. I have a list on the wall to check, a list to pack.
I made a long list and taped it to the wall. I was like, this is what you need to go by, because it came in handy, because I didn't have a care in the world. I was like, I'm getting in this car, you drive off when you're ready. I'll be in the car.
So we got everything packed, got it thrown in the car, got the dog locked up.
I didn't. I was in the car. He did all the hard work. Well, he did all the manual labor. That's so funny.
So I had the best route picked out to drive. I knew the way I was gonna go. There was nothing that was gonna change it. It was a nice, peaceful route, not bumpy, not too many stoplights. We could avoid the highway, especially with it being now 11:15 in the evening on a Friday. Kind of want to avoid the roads, the highways. You never know who's out. So we take off. And by the time I reach the highway, I have to make a choice, either get on the highway or stay in the back roads. And
by then he was timing the contractions, and they were close to 3 minutes apart.
So I knew I couldn't go the back roads. So I jump on the highway. And then now, in no time, they're within about a minute apart. And I caught myself watching the clock, and I knew, like, oh, here it goes again. Wait a few minutes. All right, here comes that next one, sure enough. So we get, me knowing the route I'm taking this whole time, and then having to detour kind of threw things off. So I'm on the highway, and I have to detour. There's construction on the way I need to go. I'm not prepared for this amount of wear.
I didn't know anything. I was in the back seat, eyes closed, and like every time a contraction came, I'd rock. Like the front seat was too constricted, even in the passenger seat, for me to sit comfortably. So I'm in the back seat, just like ah.
We end up getting to the birth center. I didn't think we were gonna make it. All I caught myself doing was praying, please don't let us have this baby on the side of the road. Like I'm not ready to deliver this baby in a car. Please don't do it.
Maybe next baby we'll do some type of home birth, maybe. But the first one, no. We needed our midwives.
So we get there, and I walk her in. I run back out to the car to grab our luggage and stuff. And when I get back in, she's already kapowed out of her clothes.
So I got inside, and our birth center is a 2-story, probably 1900, 1910, 1920 house, and there's a big waiting room in the front and a bedroom behind it. So I go to the first chair that I see, and our midwife, she just woke up, and she came around the corner, and I was bent down on the chair, and she was like, no, get up and go get in the bed, take your clothes off. I was like, cool. I don't even know where the clothes landed. I just know the next thing I was naked in the bed, ready to have this baby.
The last time I remember looking at the clock, she had asked what time it was, and it was 12:15. It was officially Saturday, September 3rd, and we're about to have this baby.
I was hoping to deliver. Oh, originally I wanted to get in the tub a little bit just so it would be comfortable, but we got there so late, and I was already in active labor that wasn't even an option. So we're on the bed, and I wanted to deliver in the hand and knee position, but our midwife told us that probably wouldn't be the best. She taught me something new. I learned a lot of new things that night. But she had me lay on my side, which I was angry because I normally sleep on my side, and it had been hurting so bad the past few months to sleep on my side. So I was like, I don't want to be on my side. It hurts. But she was like, this is the way we're doing it. When you lay on your side, and Josh stands in front of me, I'm at the edge of the bed, and I put my leg over his shoulder, and the other leg just sticking straight out. It opens up my pelvis in a wider position so that the baby can come out easily.
So 12:15, 12:20, I send a couple of frantic texts to the immediate family, said, hey, we're here, and this is like really about to happen.
It got real.
This is about to happen. We're about to have a baby. Like, is it gonna be a baby boy? Is it gonna be a baby girl?
We didn't find out the gender, and that was nerve-wracking to most people, but it was exciting to me, and he went along with it, so I was even more excited.
the whole journey was different for me because I didn't expect to deliver in a birth center. I never would have thought that I should be doing that one.
And actually deliver. Like,
I never thought I would deliver my child.
First person to touch him.
The thought of that before was kind of scary. I didn't think I could handle it.
You did great.
And I also never thought like an all-natural birth and not finding out the gender. Like all these things were new to me. It was so different than what I'm accustomed to or any thought I ever even had. So it was an experience.
It's funny, our midwife said that we're like a new generational wave because she asked why did we choose a birth center. I was like, I used to watch TLC when I was little and I knew I didn't want to go to a hospital. She was like, well, that's new. I've never heard that one before. But I love watching TLC and A Birth Story and Bringing Baby Home or whatever the names of those shows were. And I was like, I know I don't want to go to a hospital. I want to be somewhere that's really comfortable. And I don't want to have my first child at home. That's a bit too far because I've never experienced it before. So a birth center was the perfect median, and midwives were amazing the whole journey. But back to that night.
So it's about 12. I lied and said the last time I looked at the clock was 12:10, 12:15 because I do recall looking at the clock at 12:22, and that's when your water broke.
That's a story.
So she's laying on the bed. And she starts saying, oh my gosh, something's happening, something feels weird.
I didn't know what was going on. It didn't really hurt. It just, I knew something was going on in my body, but I was so like, I don't know, in the zone and out of it at the same time. I just felt some type of pressure. It wasn't really painful, but I was like, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on right now.
It was more like I don't know what's happening.
So yeah, see, that's the story better. My head was facing the foot of the bed, and my bottom was facing the headboard, and we
were literally at the foot of the bed. Yeah, like her head was at the foot of the bed, and when her water broke, if this was like the only part that was like a movie, the water breaks and there's like this mess on the ground. Well. Hers broke and it like shot to the nightstand.
It was forceful. So like basically from the middle of the bed to the head of the bed and the nightstand over water, amniotic fluid.
Like the midwives and everybody, we were like matrixing out the way of this water breaking.
Yeah.
And we were kind of told that was just in movies, that it was never that extreme.
Yeah. Right. The star of the story woke up.
I don't remember where we were.
So the water breaking.
Alright, so I'm just so happy, huh? Just so happy. Look at the camera. There you go.
Say hi.
You want to try this again?
Say hi. Say the water broke and I was ready to come out.
So, now that we have our bundle of joy, before I tell about the bundle of joy, ain't that right? Woo. So her water breaks and we start the whole pushing. She starts the whole pushing. I was really, really amazed by how well she did. It just wasn't what I thought it would be. I thought she would be screaming and just, I mean, it's all natural. There's no medication, just mind and willpower.
It really is mindset. I think that it benefited me that I thought that it was going to hurt 10 times worse than what it did. And actually the pushing was a lot less painful than the contraction. So by the time that part came, I was like, okay, let's get him out. I didn't know how to push effectively.
Oh.
You stood up?
No. It's got that little cough.
That's something that they can't, I mean, they can try to teach you, but that's something that you learn in the process. So as I was pushing, I was grunting too hard. I was just like, trying to get him out. And my midwife told me to just put my chin into my chest and breathed down slowly. So that got him out really quickly.
Really, really quickly. Like I said, water broke. It was 12:22, and at 12:59, I had baby boy in my hands. But not to jump too far ahead, because the actual delivery was pretty incredible.
I was just there.
This is the part where she kind of zoned out and doesn't recall much, but I very vividly recall it all.
Tell us about it.
So after about 5 or 10 minutes of pushing, that's when I first seen this little beautiful baby's head. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl yet, obviously. So I was anxious. I was really, really anxious. And you would see the head a little bit, and then it would go away. And then she would start pushing again, and you'd see this head start to crown, and then it would go away.
And I was trying to push him out all at once. I was like, okay, it's there. Let's get this whole baby out. That would have been scary if it actually happened.
When the ring of fire when the ring of fire occurs at the stage when the midwife was saying that this was that moment, she handled it really well. She didn't I
honestly didn't feel it that much. I felt it for maybe 2 seconds and it was gone.
So now at this point, like, I can see the whole top of this baby's head, and in no time, I mean, I saw forehead and I saw eyes, and I remember seeing this baby's eyes. And
were they open?
They were open, and he he didn't cry. He didn't cry. His whole head is out, and these midwives are telling me to pull the baby out. Granted, I'm not a doctor. I never thought about even pulling a baby out of anything. So, I'm sure what most people do, I grab this baby's head and this little shoulder sticking out, and I start to pull him, and I was scared I was going to hurt him or hurt her, and the midwife is yelling to me, "You gotta pull him, pull." So, I give it a little force, and I pull this baby out, and the first thing, for 10 months I said, I'm checking that baby, and if it's not a boy, we're sending it back. And I just knew the first thing I would do would be, I would get this baby and I would just go, "Oh, it's a boy!" And I didn't. I grabbed this baby and I hold it and I hug it for a second, and then I give him to mama.
So we can do skin to skin.
Skin to skin. And I'm just in awe.
And I'm like, "So what is it? What is it? What is it?"
And first thing she does is she checks and she says, "Oh my gosh, we have a baby boy."
It's Grayson instead of Genevieve.
And that's when I think I got most emotional. Not because it was a boy, but I knew. At that point, I knew. When I first pulled him out and held him, the emotion was, wow, this is my baby. Like, I don't care that if it's a boy or a girl. And I was just amazed that I just delivered my baby. I was the first person to ever touch my baby. Not some stranger. Granted, your I don't know what they're called, your doctor who delivers for you in a hospital, you have some sort of relationship with. But in reality, they're a stranger. You don't know about this person. You don't know what this person does outside of work. You know nothing. So to be able to be the one to touch my child and deliver my child is like something no one could ever take away. And I've encouraged all my friends who are having babies or who recently had babies, I tried to encourage them to do the same. As a man, you're like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to, I can't handle it. Just the thought of it is no, but it literally is probably the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed or been a part of in my life. As you can see, this little guy is just a wiggle worm. He's taught us so much.
Definitely. Patience is one thing I learned from like day one. I hated that I had to stop vlogging, but I was sleepy, and so I slept. I mean, I had to. There's nothing else I could do. I slept and I ate during the pregnancy. I didn't come home and vlog. No videos. I went to sleep. And I never thought I'd slow down for anything, but I have, and it's just absolutely fine.
So after he was born, I got to weigh him in like the real old school.
Put him in a cloth and
hold him up
like a fish or something.
Like a fish. Kind of ironic. Fisher fish. So we weighed him and we measured him, and he was like just a perfect baby for us. She fed him immediately and went to sleep.
Yeah.
By 2 o'clock she was out, and I was sitting in this bed, kind of like I am now, and I just held this baby boy for the next 4.5 hours. I had worked the night before, so I had been up since about 5 in the morning. So, come 6:30, the morning of the birth, I had already been up for 25, going on 26 hours, and it just, sleep wasn't even a thought at this point. I was just thrilled. I wanted to watch over this baby all night. I wanted to hold him and make sure he was safe while Mama got rest. Even when we came home, the car ride home was interesting. Drive really slow.
Yes, we were kind of scared.
Upset at people for not stopping at yellow lights. Like, what are you doing? You don't have to always drive through. And then I remember staying up till probably 11, close to noon that day, before finally getting a little nap.
And at the birth center, you stay there maximum of 8 hours. You give birth, get you a little nap, get you some sustenance, some food and orange juice, and they're like, okay, y'all are good to go.
And we were. There was no need to be anywhere other than home. And a lot of people were amazed by that. Like, I'm texting people the next day, just happy, pictures of the baby. Look, I'm a dad, I got a baby boy. Mr. Grayson Kingfisher. Yes. And and they're like, when are y'all going home? When can we come by? And I'm like, man, we've been home for hours. Addie's walking around right now as we speak. Shouldn't be, but she is, and she can. And
yeah, it's possible to walk around. Like, after a natural birth, you can get up.
Now, we're here with this baby boy who's teaching us daily. He's